Let's start with the facts. What exactly did Cracker Barrel change that has people calling them woke? First up, the logo. The most visible shift came when Cracker Barrel unveiled a newer version of their classic branding, and for decades, the logo featured an older man sitting in a rocking chair next to a wooden barrel, an image that many associated with down home, traditional Americana. But in the updated version, the man is gone. What remains is a cleaner, more minimal design, just the name Cracker Barrel. And now, this wasn't some radical redesign. The change was subtle, and many casual customers probably wouldn't even notice it unless it was pointed out. But that small change sparked a big reaction, and to some people, removing the man in a chair felt symbolic, like erasing a piece of heritage or distancing from the image of old America. But from a branding perspective, the move makes sense, right? In my opinion, a lot of legacy brands are simplifying their logos for digital use, social media, mobile apps. And if you think about how many companies have stripped down their branding over the past few years, this is a more of a design update than a political statement. And beyond the logo, Cracker Barrel has also embraced some internal corporate changes because on their website and press releases, they highlighted the efforts um, and improving diversity, equity, and inclusion, often abbreviated as DEI. But before I go further, because I know a lot of people are outraged for the DEI and also the LGBTQ alliance partnership that is actually supporting Cracker Barrel, and Cracker Barrel is supporting the LGBTQ alliance. Well, I shouldn't say Cracker Barrel is supporting it, but they are in partnership in regards of investing in Cracker Barrel, and it has been basically reported on their website of the alliance with the LGBTQ community. And a lot of people don't like that, let alone the DEI. But before I go further and show you guys the website and we continue to break things down, because I don't believe this is a big deal. The old man, I mean, who cares? The old man is away from the logo. I mean, I don't know what's woke about anything. I feel as though that doesn't make a difference. I mean, Cracker Barrel is Cracker Barrel, right? For what it's known for. If you eat there, you want to rock with them. If you don't, then don't eat there and don't rock with them. But as far as the design, you always have to improve, and eventually companies redesign. That's something that happens naturally in due time. But yeah, man, I don't see no big deal. But let's check out the CEO.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Well, Julie Messino, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to
and
be
thank
here.
You
thank
for
you again.
answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
Can I get in writing that the peg game is going to stay?
The peg game is staying.
Okay.
So are the rocking chairs,
And the
fireplace, vintage decor. It's all there.
All right. Okay, because that would be a deal breaker. That would be a deal breaker.
Well, there you go. So now this is the old look. And since they're modernizing things, this is the new look. And like I said, with the logo, who cares if the older guy in the wooden chair is there? I mean, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't change their traditions, let alone what they are highly popularly known for. Um, you know, but that's that. And I want to talk about this, right? Because this was getting a lot of people outraged. This right here, this alliance supporting home and office field employees to bring their whole selves to work while strengthening Cracker Barrel's relationship to the LGBTQ community, right? So the support within the alliance and Cracker Barrel supporting LGBTQ. So when you look at things, right, and from a branding perspective, it makes sense. But beyond the logo, Cracker Barrel has also embraced some internal corporate changes that I mentioned because on their website, as you guys see on the screen, and in press releases, they highlighted efforts to improve diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm sure you guys see Be Bold and Be Well. Be Well is Cracker Barrel's wellness. BRG partners with Benefits Department to improve the employee experience, physical, financial, You have the Be Bold, which is to develop black leaders and Cracker Barrel organization. And then you have Hola. Hola's mission to promote Hispanic and Latino culture. And then you got the neurodiversity when it comes to and it's hit home for me because I have an autistic child. So that's an amazing thing. And the Women's Connect, Women Empowerment. So, but this was a lot of people were stuck on the LGBTQ Alliance. So this includes commitments to hiring a more diverse leadership, fostering an inclusive work environment, supporting values uh, supporting various community initiatives. And they also established what's called the LGBTQ Alliance, an internal resource group aimed at supporting LGBTQ employees and promoting inclusivity within the workplace. So let's be clear. These aren't things that impact your experience as a customer when you go eat at the restaurant. You're not walking into a Cracker Barrel and seeing rainbow flags on every wall or getting handed a political pamphlet with your chicken and dumplings. And these are internal policies standard in corporate America today, and that focus on how the company operates behind the scenes. So when we ask what changed, the answer is this: it's just a modest logo redesign and a public acknowledgement that the company is trying to be more inclusive behind the scenes. That's it. No drastic political shifts, no boycotts of traditional values, no hidden agenda. No hidden agenda. I think they're just branding, and it's just branding and business, right? So now that we know what actually changed, let's talk about why it changed, specifically why companies like Barrel are embracing DEI initiatives and forming LGBTQ plus alliances in the first place. Because first off, what does DEI actually mean? Diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? And it's a business framework aimed at making sure companies are hiring and supporting people from a variety of backgrounds, whether that's based on race, gender, religion, age, disability, or sexual orientation. And it's about creating a workplace where people feel respected, represented, and given equal opportunity to succeed. And now here's the important thing to understand with DEI isn't about promoting any one group over another. It's not about being political. It's about recognizing the diverse teams often perform better or more innovative and can be relate to a wide customer base. So the biggest thing I think from a business perspective, they're just using DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion from a promoting diversity, but however, I know on my stance of things, I believe diversity, I don't care what race group is part of the job or wherever someone works at. I believe people should be hired based on qualifications and being merit based. And actually, if they are even just entry level and have no experience, that they show up to the job willing to learn and wanting to be an effective employee, right? But I get the DEI sense of it with the diversity, but it will diversify on its own as you hire those who want to be part of the team and want to be there, want to do their job. And it doesn't matter the color or race. It's just character from the person and also being a cultural fit within the job. So I don't, I'm not a, I'm not against these companies or companies pushing diversity, but I don't feel like you have to be known. It'll speak for itself, like it has been many years before the diversity, equity, inclusion became a big thing. So when you look at things like that, right? And I think the same logic is applying here with the LGBTQ employee resources group, like the one Cracker Barrel now has. These groups are usually voluntary internal communities where employees with shared identities or experience can support each other and provide feedback to leadership to help the company build more a diverse culture. So, and you'll find these in nearly at every major U.S. company now today, because McDonald's has one, right? I mean, look at it: jobs, inclusion, and empowerment. We're serving up bright futures in our communities, nurturing skills, helping to accelerate equity and respecting human rights. And I'm just using McDonald's as an example. You could go on other companies like Walmart and see the inclusive culture as they build more inclusive culture, and and you can see companies like Home Depot and Chick-fil-A taking steps towards broader employee inclusion. And again, let's be real. The internal alliances doesn't affect the food on your plate or the service you receive. They exist so employees feel safe and respected while doing their jobs, these companies are basically saying. And whether someone is LGBTQ, Black, Latino, disabled, or from any background, they should be able to show up to work without fear of discrimination. And that's the baseline that most of these policies are trying to establish. So when Cracker Barrel announces they're creating a DEI strategy or supporting LGBTQ plus staff, it's not exactly groundbreaking. It's just catching up to what most companies have been doing now for years or a couple years. And it's a business decision meant to protect the company legally, attract diverse talent, and show that they're keeping up with the expectation of modern consumers. And let's be honest, if McDonald's, Target, Coca-Cola announces a new diversity program, hardly anyone blinks anymore. But when a brand that's traditionally viewed as old-fashioned or small town makes the same move, it hits differently. But I feel like you can, if you want to be technical, you can go on any of these companies that I meant name, like McDonald's, and find anything to call it woke. And I feel like just like you have extreme liberals, you have extreme conservatives. So at the end of the day, these initiatives doesn't mean that Cracker Barrel is trying to change your values or tell you how to live. They're just running a business in a changing world and keeping both their workforce and their customers happy. That's what I see it happening. And it's not like they're pushing it on you to be a certain customer, and they're not going to serve you if you're not this certain customer that they're trying to push on you. So I'm gonna leave it there. As you guys can see, when it comes to human rights, helping fulfill our commitment to respect the rights of all communities, guided by our values, helping empower people and communities we serve. We believe responsibility to help protect the health and safety who works and enters McDonald's. And then when you go and you scroll down, you even have our company, who we are. When you go, I want to show you guys something. When you go to McDonald's, right? You can see it even says more black designers in the new black, more black designers, right? So you can say that is woke, you know what I'm saying? Trying to sit there and be inclusive and hiring certain race and discriminating and pushing black designers on others. So what I'm saying is you can pick, people consider things woke, but you can basically nitpick anything to find a reason to say something's woke. I feel like we just need to be objective here and just understand that it's just a business, and they're just trying to make a smart business move to hopefully build up their customer base because most of their customers are dying. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Peace.